Hi, I'm IndieWire Chief Critic Eric Cohn, and welcome to Film Chat with IndieWire. I'm joined today by senior film critic David Ehrlich to talk about Adam Driver, who stars in the new film Paterson, even though he's definitely not your average movie star. So David, Adam Driver's an interesting guy because a lot of people know him as either the guy from Girls or the bad guy from Star Wars, neither of which really give you a sense of his range. I really feel like Paterson, this Jim Jarmusch movie, which is like kind of a deadpan, very sad, sweet character study, is the ideal vessel for somebody like this. So it's here where we really see why he's such a compelling actor, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it seems that even he is sort of reckoning with his own range and trying to figure out where his artistic sensibilities are going to take him. And I think a role like Paterson, which is so quiet and restrained, really gives him a sense, an opportunity to let that settle and take it into some interesting new places. But I think he's every bit as intense in this in some ways as he is as Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens.
Exactly, and there's something really interesting about both of those performances in that they could very easily veer into cliche or into parody. I mean, the idea of this kind of sad Jersey poet slash bus driver, I mean, Cry Me a River, when you watch the movie, the guy has a pretty solid life, and yet he's so tortured by the fact that he can't express his poetry. When you watch the trailer, it doesn't even give you the full sense of emotion that he's able to convey in this role, but it's a really remarkable movie because so much is about how he internalizes those emotions, and yet it's something registers on his face.
And I think what's so interesting about playing a blue-collar bus driver in Paterson is that you believe him from the start, despite his history. He has a military background in real life. I mean, he comes from this place that's a little bit more rugged and salt of the earth in its nature, and there is, no matter, working with Lena Dunham, working on Star Wars, as soon as he shows up behind the wheel in Paterson in the film's very first scene, you just sort of say, okay, like he could just as realistically be a bus driver in New Jersey as he could be, a Jesuit priest in the 17th century, or as he could be Han Solo's son.
Right,
So.
but also, let's face it, I mean, he's not a traditionally handsome guy. He's got this lengthy physicality and these long features. It's sort of puzzling to look at first. And there's something I love about that. It's like we're living in this era in which it's not about, the most buff kind of James Dean-like stud being front and center of every movie that sells $1 million. It's like, who looks interesting? What can we do with this interesting face? And so, it's very exciting for filmmakers like Jim Jarmusch who can really apply that kind of skill. So
yeah, I mean, he is like an instrument to these directors. I think that you can tune him in so many different ways. Although I will say that he is ripped. I have noticed, and it always catches me a little off guard because I think exactly what you were talking about, that you see him as being capable of taking all these different shapes, but you can notice out of the side of your eye, and especially the contrast that's provided by Silence, where he lost all of that weight, that he is a very muscular dude. So he does have a little bit of the traditional Hollywood glamour underneath there.
It'll be an Expendables 50 in a couple of years. Well, thanks, David. Don't miss Adam Driver and Paterson. Available now on demand. I'm Eric Cohn. See you next time.